In the last episode, we saw Anchal completely losing his temper. Without any concern about changing the past, he was ready to kill Simpson. Now in today's episode, we see Anchal standing in front of Simpson, fuming with anger, ready to attack. Simpson, though startled at first by this version of Jinu Kim, notices Jinu's t-shirt and starts laughing at him. Mocking him, Simpson says, "You seem to be trying your best bluffing, but what's with that shirt? You're really killing me here. I haven't done a shibarai on you for a while, huh?" As he says this, Simpson tries to kick Jinu down, but instead, Jinu kicks him down to the ground. Shocked, Simpson thinks to himself, did this loser just make me fall down? Must have been my imagination, like this loser could actually do that. Trying to cover up his embarrassment, Simpson gets up and says, "Floor's damn slippery. They really haven't cleaned it." Simpson then launches an attack on Jinu, but Jinu dodges it and punches him in the ribs. The blow leaves Simpson stunned, and he thinks, why does it hurt so much? It was just a scrawny little twig that hit me. Meanwhile, Anchal, who is now controlling Jinu's body, says to Simpson, "That should hurt more since it was the right side, that's where your liver is." As Simpson prepares to strike again, Anchal lands a punch on his jaw. Despite having an ordinary body now, Anchal still remembers how to fight and beat someone up. However, he fails to account for one critical detail: he's not yet accustomed to Jinu's body. This leads Anchal to miss a punch, giving Simpson a chance to counterattack, but Anchal quickly recovers, delivering a spinning knee strike to Simpson's face, knocking him unconscious. As Simpson collapses, he thinks to himself, to lose to a shitty loser like this? Is this a dream? Then we hear the voice of Jinu's spirit laughing and taunting Anchal. History. You're done for, Anchal. After Simpson wakes up, he thinks, this must be a dream. If I really lost to that loser Jinu Kim, I'd be so humiliated I'd have to leave school. But just then, he sees Jinu standing right in front of him. Jinu says, "You think this is a dream?" Simpson snaps back, "You think you can get away after pulling a stunt like that?" Jinu smirks and replies, "Oh yeah, so what are you gonna do, Domas? Should I go around telling everyone that you got your ass kicked by loser Jinu? What do you think? Wanna drop out of school after the rumor spreads? Or should I just spread it myself?" Hearing this, Simpson freaks out. "What do you want from me, Jinu?" Jinu actually Anchal grins and says, "Now we're talking. What do I want? Not much. From now on, you're gonna report to me everything Anchal does. Whoever he talks to during the day, whatever he's thinking about, even how many times he goes to the bathroom." Simpson stammers, "Why him?" Anchal shuts him down. "None of your business. Don't make it obvious that you got beat by me. Just act like your usual self and I'll pretend today never happened. Or I could drag you out in front of the whole school and beat you even worse. Your call." Terrified, Simpson says, Alright. I'll do what you want." Anchal replies, "Good. From now on, we're secret pals." As Anchal walks off, he thinks to himself, Simpson won't rat me out anyway because of his pride. Perfect. History won't change. And as a bonus, I've got a spy to keep tabs on the past me. Should have just beaten the crap out of him from the start instead of holding back. As long as the rumor doesn't spread, history stays intact. Right, Jinjin Woo Woo? Bet you're watching all of this from outside. After Ankyol ended up in Jinu Kim's body, the first time he actually hit someone, he felt amazing. He thought to himself, man, that was so refreshing. I can just beat the crap out of Simpson whenever I'm pissed from now on. But seriously, why did Jinu even bother going to school in the first place? There's no one here he can beat up to blow off some steam. Wait, could it be? Does this guy distress by getting beaten up instead? Is he some kind of masochist or something? Now we see Anchal standing with 3 girls. These girls are smoking, and the only reason they kept him there is so they can pin the blame on him if a teacher shows up. In other words, even in Jinu Kim's body, Anchal is being bullied. Standing there, he thinks to himself, so on top of everything else, I'm also their scapegoat. And now I'm a freaking cigarette holder too. This is so annoying. The girls keep pestering Jinu, making snarky comments to annoy him. Ankyol thinks, if I beat them up, they're totally going to snitch on me, aren't they? One of the girls warns, if you don't do as we say, we'll tell on you. Ankyol rolls his eyes and thinks, go ahead, snitch on me. Back in high school, I was way worse than this anyway. That's when we see past Ankyol smoking a cigarette, walking casually. He looks at them and says, solve this yourselves, you weak shits. You two should try duking it out, you little shits who can't even fight. With him, we also notice Dabin hanging around, looking really happy to be with him. Future Ankyol watches Dabin and thinks, Dabin has always been such a goody two-shoes angel. I remember she used to have the nickname Girl Anchol, since she was always chasing after me. But back then, past Anchol had no interest in girls, so he just leaves Dabin behind and says, stop following me. Hearing that makes Dabin feel bad. Future Ankyol, watching all this, thinks, now that I think about it, I feel kinda sorry for her. She was such a sweet girl. I should be nicer to her this time around. As past Ankyol walks off, the girls laugh at Dabin, which makes her furious. Smoking her cigarette, she glares at them and snaps, you whores have a death wish, don't you? Didn't I tell you never to call Ankyol when I'm smoking? Ankyol is stunned to see this side of Dabin and thinks, what part Dabin? This is her real self. Was she putting on a front just because she liked me? Dabin slaps Ankyol and yells, what the hell are you staring at, Ankyol? Furious, he mutters to himself, so this is why they called her girl Ankyol. Dabin glares at him and says, what's with those eyes? Looks like you need to be taught a lesson. She calls over Simpson and says, teach this kid a lesson. Simpson asks, what? Which little shit? If it's for you, Dabin, I'll totally set him straight. But as soon as Simpson looks at Jinu Ankyol, he freezes in fear, as if he's seeing a demon. Dabin, annoyed, snaps, what are you doing? Didn't I you to take him away? Terrified, Simpson drags Jinu off while Dabin calls out from behind, don't go overboard. Meanwhile, the other girls ask Dabin, what do you love the most about Ankyol? Smirking, she replies, he's like a beast, you know, that pure smell of blood coming off a strong man. It's not like he's not cool normally, but the best part is when he's drenched in his opponent's blood in the ring. You guys don't see that beast behind him, do you? As Dabin starts walking away, she tells Simpson to make sure he teaches Jinu a proper lesson, but when she gets there, she sees the exact opposite happening. Jinu is choking Simpson. Shocked, Dabin can't believe what she's seeing. Jinu notices her and thinks, if Dabin spreads this, history's gonna change. I was planning to spare the girls. He glares at Dabin and yells, hey you, get your ass over here too. Furious, Dabin thinks, what's his deal? He's just a loser, even though it's Jinu, but why? But then she notices the same beast behind Jinu, and it leaves her flustered. Embarrassed, she mutters to herself, am I seeing a beast behind him? And that's where this chapter ends. If you haven't watched the first episode yet, click the video on the right hand side of the end screen. And if you want to catch the next episode, click the one on the left.